What if the next global superstar carrying the Jackson name isn't trying to imitate a legend, but is creating a legacy entirely his own? For years, fans around the world have wondered whether anyone could step into the spotlight and capture even a fraction of the magic associated with the Jackson family. Now, one name keeps appearing in headlines, social media discussions, and entertainment news: Jaafar Jackson. From Hollywood movie sets to major fashion events in Milan, Jaafar's journey has become one of the most talked about stories in entertainment. Reports, behind-the-scenes photos, and fan reactions suggest that his profile is growing faster than anyone expected. But what has people truly excited isn't just where he's appearing, it's how audiences are responding every step of the way. But that's not all. Many fans believe Jaafar isn't simply benefiting from his famous last name. They point to his dedication, months of preparation, and commitment to honoring his uncle, the legendary Michael Jackson, while still bringing his own personality to the spotlight. Others believe his recent appearances prove he's becoming an international star in his own right. So, what really happened behind the scenes? How did Jaafar Jackson go from preparing for one of Hollywood's biggest roles to becoming a name recognized far beyond the film industry? And why are fans calling this just the beginning of something much bigger? Stay with us, because Jaafar Jackson's journey from Hollywood to Milan is filled with surprising moments, emotional reactions, and a future that may be even brighter than anyone imagined. Long before Jaafar Jackson began appearing in entertainment headlines around the world, there was one question that seemed impossible to answer. Could anyone from the Jackson family step into a major spotlight without being overwhelmed by the enormous legacy that came before them? It was a challenge that would intimidate almost anyone. After all, the Jackson name is connected to decades of music history, unforgettable performances, and one of the most influential entertainers the world has ever known. For Jaafar Jackson, however, the journey was never about replacing anyone. From the very beginning, people close to the entertainment industry described him as someone who wanted to earn respect through hard work rather than family connections alone. While his famous last name naturally attracted attention, fans quickly noticed that he wasn't rushing into the spotlight. Instead, he appeared focused on preparing himself for opportunities that truly mattered. That patience eventually led to the moment that changed everything. When reports emerged that Jaafar had been chosen to portray his uncle, the legendary Michael Jackson, in the highly anticipated biographical film, entertainment fans around the world immediately began paying attention. The announcement created enormous excitement, but it also brought tremendous pressure. Taking on the role of one of history's greatest performers isn't simply another acting job, it's a responsibility watched by millions of people across the globe. Social media exploded almost instantly. Some fans celebrated the casting, believing that a member of the Jackson family would understand Michael's personality better than almost anyone else. Others admitted they were curious but cautious, wondering whether anyone could realistically capture the charisma, voice, movement, and emotion that made Michael Jackson a global icon. The conversations continued for weeks. Entertainment journalists analyzed every casting update. Fans revisited old videos of Jaafar singing and dancing. Online communities compared his appearance to Michael's younger years, with many pointing out the striking resemblance. Every new behind-the-scenes image generated thousands of comments, fueling even more anticipation for the film. But that was only the beginning. According to reports and interviews surrounding the production, Jaafar dedicated himself to preparing for the role. Fans admired the commitment they believed he brought to understanding Michael's movements, expressions, and performance style. Many commented that portraying such an iconic figure required much more than simply looking similar. It demanded discipline, emotional depth, and respect for the story being told. As production continued, another interesting trend began to emerge. Jaafar's name started appearing in entertainment news for reasons beyond the movie itself. Whether it was industry events, media appearances, or growing interest from international audiences, more people were becoming familiar with him as an individual rather than simply as Michael Jackson's nephew. That shift was significant. For years, many celebrity relatives have struggled to escape constant comparisons. Every interview, Every performance and every public appearance often leads back to the achievements of previous generations. Yet many fans believe Jaafar was handling that pressure remarkably well. Instead of trying to compete with Michael's legacy, he appeared focused on honoring it while quietly building his own reputation. Then came another major development. Reports of Jaafar attending high-profile events outside Hollywood, including appearances connected to the international fashion world, sparked another wave of excitement. Fans noticed that his growing presence wasn't limited to movie discussions anymore. His name was beginning to appear in conversations about style, celebrity culture, and global entertainment. Social media responded immediately. Photos and videos circulated rapidly, with supporters praising his confidence, professionalism, and calm personality. Many commented that he carried himself with humility despite receiving increasing international attention. Others suggested that these appearances demonstrated how rapidly his public profile was expanding beyond the film industry. Entertainment commentators also took notice. Several observers pointed out that modern celebrities often succeed by connecting with audiences across multiple industries. Film, fashion, music, and digital media frequently overlap, allowing rising stars to build international recognition in ways that weren't possible just a decade ago. Jaafar's growing visibility seemed to reflect exactly that trend. Meanwhile, longtime Michael Jackson fans viewed the situation through a different lens. For many of them, watching Jaafar's journey felt emotional. They remembered Michael's own influence on music, fashion, and global culture, and seeing another Jackson family member receive worldwide attention naturally brought back memories. At the same time, many emphasized that Jaafar deserved to be evaluated based on his own work rather than impossible comparisons. That message became increasingly common online. Fans encouraged one another to appreciate Jaafar's dedication while allowing him the freedom to develop his own identity. They argued that respecting Michael Jackson's legacy doesn't require expecting someone else to become another Michael Jackson. Instead, they believed Jaafar's greatest success would come from bringing authenticity to every opportunity placed before him. As more updates continued emerging from Hollywood and beyond, one thing became clear. Jaafar Jackson's story was no longer just about landing a major movie role. It was becoming the story of a young entertainer navigating global expectations while steadily earning recognition across multiple industries. And if the growing excitement from fans was any indication, the biggest chapters of that journey were still waiting to be written. As production on the Michael Jackson biopic moved forward, it became clear that Jaafar Jackson's journey was reaching a completely different level. What had started as excitement over a major casting announcement was now evolving into something much bigger. Entertainment outlets weren't just covering the film anymore, they were covering Jaafar himself. Every new update seemed to generate another wave of discussion. One day, fans were analyzing newly released behind-the-scenes photos from the movie set. The next day, they were talking about Jaafar's appearance at high-profile entertainment and fashion events. His name was beginning to appear alongside established celebrities, directors, designers, and international stars, leading many people to believe that his career was expanding far beyond a single movie role. That's when Milan entered the conversation. As reports and photos from events in Milan began circulating online, fans noticed how naturally Jaafar carried himself among some of the biggest names in fashion and entertainment. Social media quickly filled with comments praising his confidence, elegant style, and calm personality. Many supporters wrote that he looked completely comfortable on one of the world's biggest fashion stages, while others said it was another sign that his influence was becoming increasingly global. The reactions were impossible to ignore. Across Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube, thousands of fans shared clips and photos from his appearances. Some admired his fashion choices. Others focused on his professionalism during interviews and public events. Many simply celebrated seeing another member of the Jackson family receiving positive attention for hard work rather than controversy. Entertainment commentators also joined the discussion. Several analysts pointed out that today's biggest stars rarely stay within one industry. Modern celebrities often build careers across film, fashion, music, and digital media at the same time. In their opinion, Jaafar's growing presence at international events suggested that he was becoming more than just the lead actor in a highly anticipated movie. He was gradually establishing himself as a recognizable public figure. At the same time, comparisons to Michael Jackson continued. For some fans, those comparisons were unavoidable. The resemblance in certain expressions and movements sparked nostalgic conversations, especially among longtime supporters who had followed Michael's career for decades. Others argued that while the family connection would always be part of Jaafar's story, he deserved the opportunity to create an identity based on his own accomplishments. That debate became one of the biggest talking points online. Some fans believed portraying Michael Jackson would always define Jaafar's career. Others felt exactly the opposite. They argued that if he continued making smart career choices after the film, audiences would eventually recognize him as a talented actor and entertainer in his own right. Meanwhile, anticipation for the movie reached another level. Every new production update generated headlines. Fans searched for any glimpse of Jaafar in costume, hoping to see how he transformed into one of the most iconic performers in music history. Behind-the-scenes images, cast interviews, and production news were shared thousands of times, keeping excitement alive even before the film's release. Many supporters admired the dedication they believed Jaafar had shown throughout the process. Reports suggested months of preparation, careful attention to detail, and a commitment to honoring Michael Jackson's legacy as authentically as possible. While audiences would ultimately judge the finished performance after the film's release, many fans appreciated the seriousness with which Jaafar appeared to approach the role. That respect continued growing. People who initially knew very little about Jaafar began researching his background, his previous work, and his charitable interests. They discovered someone who had largely stayed away from unnecessary drama, choosing instead to focus on personal growth and professional opportunities. That reputation only strengthened the positive conversations surrounding him. Then another interesting pattern emerged. Industry insiders and entertainment observers started discussing Jaafar's long-term future. If the film proved successful, could Hollywood begin offering him larger acting opportunities? Would luxury brands continue inviting him to international fashion events? Could he eventually balance acting, producing, and other creative projects as his career expanded? Those questions excited fans even more. Many believed this wasn't simply about one movie anymore. They saw the possibility of a career that could stretch across multiple industries, introducing Jaafar Jackson to audiences far beyond those already familiar with the Jackson family. But despite all the excitement, one important challenge remained. Fame can arrive quickly, but staying successful requires consistency, patience, and wise decisions. Fans recognized that the real test would begin after the headlines faded. Could Jaafar continue building momentum? Could he handle the enormous expectations that come with carrying one of entertainment's most famous family names? Those answers would come with time. For now, one thing was becoming increasingly clear. From Hollywood film sets to international events in Milan, Jaafar Jackson was attracting worldwide attention in ways few people had predicted. And if the growing excitement surrounding his journey was any indication, the next chapter of his story could be even more remarkable than the one fans were already celebrating. As Jaafar Jackson's profile continued to rise, one thing became increasingly obvious. People were no longer talking about him only because of his famous family. They were talking about the way he carried himself, the opportunities he was earning, and the impression he was making on audiences around the world. From Hollywood premieres to appearances in Milan, every step seemed to attract another wave of attention. Entertainment websites published new photos, fashion pages highlighted his style, and fan communities celebrated every milestone. What had once been simple curiosity was quickly turning into genuine excitement about what Jaafar might accomplish next. But perhaps the biggest test was still ahead. Portraying Michael Jackson on screen is an extraordinary responsibility. Millions of fans across different generations have emotional connections to Michael's music, performances, and legacy. Expectations couldn't be higher, and everyone knows that audiences will carefully analyze every scene, every dance move, and every emotional performance when the film is finally released. That pressure would overwhelm many young actors. Yet, according to reports from those involved with the production, Jaafar remained focused throughout the filming process. Instead of becoming distracted by social media speculation or constant comparisons, he appeared committed to delivering the strongest performance he possibly could. Fans admired that dedication, believing it reflected the professionalism needed for such an important role. Meanwhile, the entertainment industry kept paying attention. Several commentators suggested that Jaafar's growing visibility at international events, including those in Milan, could be opening doors far beyond the world of film. Fashion brands, luxury labels, and major entertainment companies are always searching for fresh faces with worldwide appeal. Many fans believe Jaafar has the charisma and presence to become one of those global personalities. Social media only added to that excitement. Supporters shared clips from interviews, red carpet appearances, and behind-the-scenes moments, praising his confidence and humble personality. Many commented that despite receiving worldwide attention, Jaafar continued to present himself with grace and respect. Others believed those qualities would help him build a career that lasts well beyond a single project. Still, the comparisons to Michael Jackson remain impossible to avoid. Every public appearance invites discussions about family resemblance, performance style, and legacy. Some fans enjoy those comparisons because they bring back memories of Michael's incredible career. Others argue that Jaafar deserves the opportunity to be evaluated on his own achievements rather than constantly being measured against one of the greatest entertainers in history. That conversation is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. But many supporters believe Jaafar has already found the right balance. Instead of trying to replace Michael or imitate every detail of his career, he appears focused on honoring his uncle's legacy while creating opportunities that reflect his own personality and ambitions. That approach has earned respect from both longtime Jackson fans and younger audiences discovering him for the first time. Another interesting development has been the growing international nature of his fan base. People from North America, Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and Latin America have all been following his journey through entertainment news and social media. Every new appearance seems to introduce him to another audience, expanding his recognition far beyond Hollywood. That's why many observers now describe Jaafar as an emerging global entertainer rather than simply a rising actor. Looking ahead, the possibilities seem endless. If the Michael Jackson biopic receives a strong response from audiences, Jaafar could find himself receiving offers for major film projects, international endorsements, and appearances at some of the biggest entertainment events in the world. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in Hollywood, and success ultimately depends on how audiences connect with his work. But many industry observers believe he has positioned himself for an exciting future. For fans, though, this journey represents something even deeper. It's about seeing a new generation of the Jackson family carry forward a legacy that has inspired millions of people for decades. While no one can recreate what Michael Jackson achieved, many believe Jaafar has the opportunity to write a remarkable story of his own, one built on dedication, patience, and authenticity. As more official updates about the film continue to emerge and Jaafar's international profile keeps growing, one thing is becoming clear. His journey from Hollywood to Milan isn't the destination, it's only the beginning. The biggest moments of his career may still be ahead, and millions of fans around the world will be watching closely to see where this incredible journey takes him next. And that's the incredible journey of Jaafar Jackson, from working behind the scenes in Hollywood to making headlines at major international events in Milan. Whether you're a lifelong Jackson family fan or you're just now discovering Jaafar's story, one thing is becoming clear: this is only the beginning of what could be an extraordinary career. As more official updates about the Michael Jackson biopic and Jaafar's future projects continue to emerge, we'll be here to bring you every major development, fan reaction, and behind-the-scenes story. The entertainment world is watching closely, and the next chapter could be even bigger than the last. Now it's your turn to join the conversation. Do you believe Jaafar Jackson has what it takes to become a global star in his own right? Will his performance in the Michael Jackson biopic launch him into Hollywood's biggest spotlight, or do you think his greatest achievements are still years away? Share your thoughts in the comments below because we genuinely love reading your opinions, and your comment might even be featured in one of our upcoming videos. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with fellow Michael Jackson fans, and subscribe to Culture Fallout for more exclusive celebrity news, behind-the-scenes stories, entertainment updates, and the biggest moments from Hollywood and beyond. Thank you so much for watching and for being an important part of the Culture Fallout family. Your support motivates us to keep bringing you the most exciting stories from the world of entertainment. Before you go, here's one final question for you. Could Jaafar Jackson become the next global entertainment icon, or will he always be compared to Michael Jackson's legendary legacy? Let us know your answer in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.